This is KGW News at noon.
Federal investigators are in Newburgh right now after a plane dropped out of the sky and crashed into a home last night. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Brenda Braxton. There were 3 people on board that plane. 2 of them died and a third was airlifted to the hospital. Devin Haskins joins us live from Newburgh with the latest. And Devin, you just learned the name of the young woman who survived this crash.
Yeah, we did. Police tell me that it was Emily Hurd that was airlifted to the hospital in serious condition. A family's post on Facebook says that as of 7:30 this morning, they say, quote, the surgery went well. Her spinal cord is intact. She does have multiple fractures, though, in her pelvic, her rib, and her sternal areas. Now, the FAA and the NTSB are on scene right now this afternoon, investigating how this crash happened last night. They've been here since about 10 o'clock this morning to find out how that plane went spiraling down into the backside of this house here on North Cedar Street in Newburgh. So let's take a look at some video that we've seen and we've been sharing with you. It shows that a neighbor took this video just before 7 o'clock last night as that plane was seen spiraling downward towards the house. Firefighters with Tualatin Valley and Fire and Rescue say there were 3 people on board when it crashed into the home. 2 people had died. We're still trying to confirm their identities. But I was also told by police that one of the victims is from out of the country and they're still trying to notify their family. Now, earlier this morning, the homeowners came back to the home and grabbed some of the essential items, loaded up their cars. When asked if they wanted to talk with us, they politely said, not right now. Firefighters also say everyone inside the home ran out safely after that plane had crashed into it. We're still working to confirm more about the plane, but according to FlightAware, it's a flight tracking website, the plane is a twin-engine Piper owned by Hillsborough Aero Academy. It took off around 6:20 Tuesday night before losing airspeed and crashing from about 5,000 feet up. Less than 30 minutes after it took off, it crashed into the back of this house and part of the backyard. KGW News caught up with a neighbor whose young child was playing in the front yard of that house.
And I ran out to see if my boy was okay, and they were crying. I said, did the plane hit the house? They go, yeah, it hit his buddy's house.
So thank goodness somebody's looking after them and had them in the front yard.
So now the NTSB says that a crew will be here later on this afternoon to remove the plane. They say they'll also have more information about the initial information that they can give us at about 2 o'clock this afternoon. We'll have more information at 4, 5, and 6 here on KGW. Back to you.
We'll look for it then. Thank you, Devin. This noon, thousands of Kaiser Permanente workers are on the picket lines. They say the company has walked away from the bargaining table until the strike ends on Friday. We shot this video early this morning outside Kaiser Sunnyside Medical Center off Interstate 205. These workers are among 75,000 who are striking nationwide. The union includes hundreds of positions from ER and radiology technicians to dental assistants and housekeepers. They say they want better pay, more job protections, and more staff.
There's just so many issues going on. We don't have the staff to crank out the work that we need to fill the growing Portland, Southwest Washington area.
Kaiser says its latest offer includes a 12.5% pay raise over 4 years. Other headlines we're tracking for you this noon. At the end of this month, private security will start patrolling Portland's Central East Side. Businesses there have been impacted by crime and homelessness. The group Central East Side Together hired the security firm Securitas. 10 officers will patrol the area for 60 days starting October 27th. And City Commissioner Renee Gonzalez is asking Multnomah County to declare a health emergency after 8 young people OD'd on fentanyl in a Portland park. This happened Monday morning and they all had to be revived with Narcan. Commissioner Gonzalez also wants the city to be more aggressive about prosecuting drug dealers. A federal judge will decide whether a civil rights lawsuit against Legacy Emanuel Hospital and the city of Portland can move forward. The plaintiffs are from the city's historically black Albina neighborhood. They say hundreds of families and businesses were forced to move in the 60s and 70s for a hospital expansion that never happened. They say the economic fallout from that persists to this day. Attorneys for the defendants want this case thrown out, saying too much time has passed.
Judge Simon now has 60 days within which to make a ruling. We remain steadfast in our mission and focus.
The plaintiffs include Portlanders who were displaced and descendants of Portlanders who had to move. All right, let's head back to the Weather Center now. Chris McGinnis is in for Rod this week. Are you still forecasting sunshine for the metro area?
I knew you were going to ask me that. All right, well, let's show you where it is sunny for starters. We'll take you to the east side of the gorge. This is a beautiful shot of Mount Hood from Oregon's Veterans Home in the Dalles. Just picture perfect, right? So the east end of the gorge and the east side of the state generally clear. We switch gears and bring you to the west side of the state, and I can show you the visible satellite imagery over the last 4 hours. The cloud cover has been very, very stubborn here across southwest Washington and northwest Oregon. There are some breaks in the clouds as we get down towards the central coast range and the central Oregon coast. The south coast is cleared out, but the valley and the north coast has been socked in with this fairly moist flow at low levels of the atmosphere here. It's riding up and over the coast range. You can see the little ripples in the cloud cover. That's kind of cool. I do anticipate this thinning out, though, still as we go into the afternoon. So even though we've got a gray sky right now at the coast and over downtown, where our camera here on the Wells Fargo building actually looks like it still has a little drizzle on it, the clouds will thin. Right now, we're sitting at 62 in Hillsborough, 59 in Portland, so a little cooler than we were yesterday at this lunch hour. You hop over the Cascades, it's warmer. We're pushing 70 right now in the Dalles, and it's 70 last check in Bend. All right, the plan for the rest of this afternoon, slow warming, slow clearing, but eventually we get there with a partly to mostly sunny sky late this afternoon. Brenda, I've got highs getting into the upper 60s this afternoon, and then we'll tack on a full 10 degrees tomorrow into Friday and Saturday. The good stuff is coming, and when it gets here, it's going to be something to savor for a few days heading into the weekend.
All right, we'll see you then. Talk more. Well, check this out. There is a new newspaper in Wasco County. It's called the South Wasco Times, and it just released its first edition covering smaller communities like Maupin and Duffer.
I thought it was really important to have a news source that would reach everybody, and not everybody here does internet.
The South Wasco Times only is available in print. There's nothing online. Right now, circulation is around 750 copies. Well, here at KGW, the first Wednesday of every month is a Good Energy Day. That's when we feature people, businesses, and communities doing good things for the environment. Today, it's all about electric vehicles. More people are buying them, but some drivers still have a few questions about EVs. Here's Chris McGinnis with how you can get some answers.
You've never driven an EV before.
Right.
You just drove your first EV.
Yes.
What'd you think?
Loved it.
Tony and Deborah Hull took their first spin in an EV, and they liked the car's giddy-up.
Wow. Go.
Super fast.
Super fast.
I like it a lot.
That's part of the plan, says Pacific Power's Kate Hawley.
Well, I think one of the main things for us is being able to connect with people on why driving electric can be a transformative process.
Pacific Power, PGE, and nonprofits like Forth and the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association have been crisscrossing the state, putting on ride and drive events to get people familiar with EVs and the benefits that come with ditching traditional gas-powered transportation.
The cost. It's got to be about the cost.
What we're seeing on average is it's about $20 to $30 a month to charge your vehicle at home, which is about $1 equivalent, gasoline gallon equivalent.
Considering gas in Oregon is nearing $5 a gallon, that's an immediate boost to your budget. Meanwhile, upfront costs for most Americans are less of an obstacle thanks to government incentives.
I mean, the amazing thing is that the rebates at the federal and state level can actually drive down that cost of electric vehicle almost 10 to 15 grand, kind of depending on what vehicles you're getting into.
While on the road, ODOT knows that range anxiety, the fear of draining your battery miles from the nearest charging port, is real.
Right now, there's about 2,600 ports available in the state of Oregon.
ODOT is 1 year into a 5-year, $100 million expansion plan to install public chargers no more than 50 miles apart along 11 designated highways.
So you'll see in the next 5 to 8 years, we'll probably be doubling each year the amount of charging infrastructure that's out there.
Tony says he's ready now.
If you're fully charged and you got your map to where you're going to get charged next, and you can plan out your trip. You just plan the trip a little differently. Add a little bit extra time, and have a bigger lunch or whatever you're going to do.
Well, this weekend, the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association is hosting another event to check out 25 different EVs. It's at the Tesla dealership on South Macadam from 10 to 4 on Sunday.